Here's more wrestling news for November 10th, 2025, and your headlines for this afternoon include WWE preparing massive return for Brock Lesnar, major match already planned. All hints suggest that Triple H is planning to split a tag team before Survivor Series. After John Cena, another WWE star confirms retirement for 2026. AEW walkout drama grows, stars seen drinking after backstage exit. Taya Valkyrie responds to Nixon Newell, sends message about professionalism. Zoey Stark's WWE return timeline finally revealed. Wrestling community sends support after star involved in car accident. Westside Gunn cuts ties with WWE after being kicked out of Raw, and more. Brock Lesnar's name is once again echoing through WWE's halls, and this time, it looks like the Beast is finally preparing for his long-awaited return. Lesnar hasn't appeared on WWE television since dismantling John Cena earlier this year. Now, according to F4W Online, WWE Creative is reportedly finalizing return plans for both Brock Lesnar and Austin Theory, with both comebacks expected to happen within the next few weeks, just in time for Survivor Series War Games. The men's War Games match has undergone several creative shakeups in recent weeks. Early drafts reportedly featured a powerhouse lineup of CM Punk, Jey Uso, Roman Reigns, Jacob Fatu, LA Knight, and one additional member on one side, set to face a team consisting of Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, Brock Lesnar, and Austin Theory. However, due to Jacob Fatu's injury, plans were forced to change. WWE is now considering Jimmy Uso as the likely replacements for Punk's team, depending on how creative moves forward with the storyline. Meanwhile, the Red brand also took a hit after Seth Rollins was ruled out of action following his injury, as we've seen on Raw last week. That's where Logan Paul reportedly comes into play. WWE is planning for Paul to step into Rollins' role, while the remaining slots are expected to be filled by Brock Lesnar or Austin Theory, as reports suggest that WWE is currently leaning toward a traditional 5-on-5 War Games format for the men's match, though final plans have not yet been confirmed. If these plans hold, fans could be in for one of the most stacked Survivor Series lineups in recent memory, with Lesnar's return adding an undeniable spark to the build-up. After months away from the ring, his comeback at War Games would not only shift the balance of power, it could completely redefine the road to WrestleMania season. WWE Chief Content Officer Triple H and the creative team have already begun laying the groundwork for Survivor Series War Games 2025, with storylines expected to advance on tonight's episode of WWE Raw. According to reports, this year's Women's War Games match could feature an explosive mix of rivalries and alliances, with the Kabuki Warriors teaming up with the Judgment Day's Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez to take on the reigning Women's Tag Team Champions Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, alongside Bayley and Lyra Valkyria, or Rhea Ripley and Io Sky. However, a closer look reveals an imbalance. The heel team currently has 4 members, while the babyface side potentially has 6. To even the sides, Triple H could pull the trigger on a dramatic twist, Bayley betraying Lyra Valkyria. This would not only balance the numbers, but also play into their uneasy partnership, which has shown cracks in recent weeks. Tensions between the two have been mounting, especially after Kairi Sane and Asuka attacked Valkyria during a previous segment, but notably refused to touch Bayley. This has fueled speculation that Bayley may secretly be aligned with the Kabuki Warriors, setting the stage for a full-blown heel turn. If that betrayal happens, Bayley could officially reunite with the Kabuki Warriors under a reformed Damage Control, reigniting one of WWE's most dominant female factions just in time for War Games. Whether Bayley ultimately turns on Valkyria, and whether the two end up on opposing sides, could define the direction of the women's division heading into one of WWE's biggest events of the year. Enjoying the video? A quick like goes a long way in helping us grow and deliver more wrestling news you care about. The fallout from Nixon Newell and Miranda Elise's AEW situation just took another turn, and now another voice from the locker room is weighing in. After days of conflicting reports about whether Newell and Elise walked out of AEW Collision, former WWE star Nixon Newell addressed the controversy directly on her Twitch stream. She explained that neither she nor Elise were sent home, they were simply told they could leave after respectfully declining to work a 3-minute tag match, believing it wouldn't help anyone involved. Newell stressed that there was no bad blood and said the story was blown out of proportion by online reports. Shortly after her comments began circulating, AEW star Taya Valkyrie offered her own take on social media without naming anyone outright. Her message, however, was unmistakably about professionalism. At the end of the day, this is a business, it's our job. It doesn't matter if you get 1 minute or 45, you make every second in front of those fans and on that TV count. It is an honor and a privilege to be a part of the show. I've been doing this for 15 years and I've been in every position, good, bad, champ, enhancement, and every single aspect of the show, small or big, is important. Make it count. And that's my TED Talk. Fans were quick to connect Valkyrie's remarks to the Newell situation, seeing it as a subtle response to the ongoing debate over match time and professionalism in AEW. For now, AEW hasn't issued an official statement, and both Newell and Elise continue to maintain that they handled things respectfully and never walked out in anger. But the story didn't stop there, it took an even stranger turn. Just hours after Valkyrie's statement started trending, a new report surfaced claiming Nixon Newell and Miranda Elise were seen out drinking following the incident. The implication didn't sit well with Newell, who decided to clear the air once again. During her Twitch stream, the former Tegan Nox directly addressed the drinking after the walkout rumor, firing back at critics who twisted a casual night out into something it wasn't. What pissed me off the most was how people said we were pounding beers. Like, I don't do that on a daily basis. I like to drink. People can have the right to their opinion. I've been doing this for 15 years, she's been doing it 14 respectively. I said last year that this is my last 2 years in wrestling, and we're already a year gone. I want to have fun this year. We spoke to all parties involved, and it is what it is. AEW has still not commented on the matter, but Newell made it clear that she's not chasing headlines, just setting the record straight before she steps away from wrestling for good. What's your take on the Nixon Newell controversy? Was she right to turn down the short match, or should she have taken the opportunity anyway? And do you think AEW will bring her back to TV after all this? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Zoey Stark's road to recovery is moving in the right direction, but fans eager to see her back in the ring might need to wait a bit longer. According to a new report from Bodyslam.net, WWE is now targeting mid-2026 for Stark's official in-ring return. Back on May 19th, during an episode of WWE Raw, Stark suffered a brutal triple knee injury, tearing her ACL, MCL, and meniscus. The damage required a 3-hour surgery and months of intense physical therapy. In an October 18th Instagram video, Stark spoke candidly about the challenges of her rehab, revealing that at one point doctors feared she might need a knee scope or even a manipulation under anesthesia because of limited mobility. Thankfully, she avoided both. But now we're back on track. That did not have to happen, thank God. Now I'm running, I'm jumping, I have full range of motions, things are going great. Honestly, I'm happy, I'm blessed. That emotional update reassured fans that her recovery is not only back on schedule, but possibly ahead of it. Starks has continued to post clips from the gym and therapy sessions, showing glimpses of her trademark intensity returning. With WWE setting a mid-2026 target, there's speculation about how she'll be reintroduced to TV, especially after her last run saw her in a darker, more aggressive role. A comeback story this personal could open the door for a full-fledged babyface run. What do you think about Zoey Stark possibly returning as a babyface? Would you cheer for her comeback story, or do you prefer her to stay on the darker, more ruthless side? Let us know your take in the comments below. Rapper and wrestling promoter Westside Gunn has officially cut ties with WWE, and this time, he's not staying silent about what pushed him over the edge. The Griselda Records founder, a lifelong wrestling fan and one of WWE's most high-profile cultural advocates, revealed that he was kicked out of Monday Night Raw just 2 minutes into the show in his hometown of Buffalo, despite spending thousands to be there. Monday Night Raw starts at 8 p.m. and I was kicked out at 8:03 after spending $5,000 for a seat, plus travel, hotel, etc. in my own city for absolutely nothing. No lie, the kid in me heartbroke that day. For Gunn, it wasn't just about being removed from the arena, it was about years of what he describes as disrespect and hypocrisy from WWE. In a lengthy social media post, he explained that this was far from an isolated incident. Gunn says he's spent years promoting WWE organically through his music, merchandise, and public appearances, treating wrestling with the same cultural reverence that Wu-Tang Clan gave to martial arts and hip-hop. But instead of gratitude, Gunn says WWE hit him with a threat. I was threatened to take everything out of my music, which I only did to pay homage or my whole catalog would be demolished, and everybody knows how hard I worked coming from Buffalo. That alleged demand to erase every wrestling reference from his songs or risk losing his entire catalog was his breaking point. Gunn also voiced frustration over how WWE has treated him at events, claiming he was routinely overlooked despite being a genuine fan who's always bought front row seats. He said celebrities with no real connection to wrestling were placed next to him for TV optics, while his years of loyalty went unrecognized. Now Gunn is taking that passion and redirecting it into his own project, Fourth Rope, his independent wrestling promotion that fuses hip-hop and pro wrestling culture. His next trilogy album will feature Josh Bishop on the cover, a statement that he's doubling down on supporting the industry his way. Do you think WWE made a mistake alienating Westside Gunn, one of its most passionate cultural supporters? And should he reveal who allegedly threatened his music catalog? Let us know your thoughts below. Independent wrestler Alexis Littlefoot had a terrifying scare recently after being involved in a car accident, but thankfully she made it out without any serious injuries. While she's physically okay, Littlefoot admitted the emotional toll of the incident hit her hard. She took to X to share the update with fans, revealing that her car was damaged in the crash, but that she's now starting to feel like herself again after what she described as a mentally exhausting couple of days. This weekend's been wild, finally feeling back to myself. Headspace for the last 48 hours was in the trash, but it sounds like it's just gonna be bodywork White Boy needs to get back on the road. He still runs. For independent wrestlers like Littlefoot, whose careers rely heavily on constant travel from one booking to the next, a car isn't just a mode of transport, it's a lifeline. She hinted that being without her vehicle even for a short time will be difficult, but her tone suggested relief that things weren't worse. Fans quickly filled her comments with messages of support and well wishes, praising her for staying positive through the whole ordeal. For all of our subscribers, don't miss the 9 a.m. Eastern video we dropped earlier today. Smash that bell icon and select all notifications so you're always in the loop.